Hey there, welcome. Thanks for joining me. If this is your first time to my channel, my name is Violet, and today I'm going to be sharing with you two different tutorials of, I would say, farmhouse or even boho style decors for your home. The first one we're going to be making is this geometric wall decor, and what we're going to need is a poster board, and typically the Dollar Tree poster boards are about 30 by 20. But I would recommend you go ahead and measure it out just to make sure, because sometimes they are a little bit off. Once you do measure it out, go ahead and just write a little dot or mark it where it's your halfway point of your poster board for vertical and for horizontal. And just go ahead and do that. And once you've done that, measure it from the edge of your poster board upwards to that point, 1 inch, and that's where you're going to basically place your first pin at. And from there, we're going to go ahead and measure out the corners also. But what I did is I basically just got an L-shaped angled ruler, and I got this one at Dollar Tree as well, I believe. Just go ahead and make your point from that 1 inch from the top of your poster board in the middle. You're going to do that to all 4 sides. Once you've done all 4 sides of your points, now you can go ahead and go in between those 2 points, basically at the point or the corner of your poster board. You're going to go at about 1 inch in, and then you're going to do your little triangles there as well. Then you're going to go ahead and measure to the center of your poster board and make a square, or you can make a circle depending on what mirror you want to place into this geometric design. Is what the shape I would form in the middle of your poster board. So once you've already gotten all your measurements down, go ahead and get some Thumbtacks is what I'm using, and they're from Dollar Tree as well. These are the gold ones. They typically have gold or silver. Sometimes they even have different colored or different designs on them, but I'm just using the gold ones. And what I did was basically just insert them into the poster board, and you can insert it all the way completely towards the back, or just stop. You could kind of tell once you're pushing it in where before it ends up to the back side of your poster board. So just go ahead and insert your Thumbtacks all through every point, and then once you're done doing that, what I did was add some glue to each one of the points, and then insert it back into that opening that you already did, where you poked the poster board at. That way, once you start running your string through around your Thumbtacks, they're gonna actually stay in place and they won't move off or fall off of your poster board. So once you're done, it's gonna look something like this. So all you're going to do is basically get jute twine, any kind of rope that you want. I would recommend a thinner rope, since you are using Thumbtacks and they're not too big. But if you want to do this and use nails, I would recommend you maybe add a double poster board and attach them that way. That way your nails can have more of a surface to be nailed to. So once you're done doing that, go ahead and just start at any Thumbtack you want, and then just place 2 double knots, and then just start twisting your rope around each one of the Thumbtacks. And as you can tell, they're not moving. You can just basically wrap it around any way you want, any design. I just kind of winged it and just wrapped it around wherever I thought I wanted to, if that makes sense. But I know you can make different designs. Basically, you can make, if you wanted to wrap it around the same way and make triangles the same way, just put the Thumbtacks wherever you want, depending on the design you want to accomplish once you're doing the rope. One thing I would recommend is every time you wrap your rope around your Thumbtack or your nail, go from the outside of the nail or Thumbtack and then wrap it around. That way it has more of a cohesive look. But basically just wrap it around any way you want. I kind of try to stay with triangles, just wrapping it from one end of the poster board to the other and continuing that process. And some of them I did doubles and some of them I just did once. So as you can tell, I'm kind of just looking what I think would look nice and just wrapping it around. The place I'm going to put this in, I actually want candles in front of it. So I'm thinking of making a DIY of the candle holders that I want to make to place them in front of this poster board or wall decor once I'm completely done with it. So I might try to make a simple or add those candle holders to a tutorial to show you how it's going to look once I complete those. I just didn't make them this time simply because I didn't have the supplies that I want in order to make them. But hopefully soon the stores will start opening up and I'll feel more comfortable going out and doing a little bit of shopping, which I haven't done in a while. So yeah, if I do that and I do get the supplies that I need, I'll make sure to add it to another tutorial and show you a picture and maybe even link this tutorial to it. That way you guys can look at how it's going to be completely done once I finish with those candle holders to put on top of this, or in front of it, I'm sorry. So as you can tell, while I was talking, all you're doing is just wrapping your jute twine or rope around each one of the thumbtacks as many times as you'd like, making any design you want. Like I said, I just kind of wanted to wing it and make it more geometric. That's why I didn't really make a design. But I did try to at least wrap the rope around each one of the thumbtacks twice, just to make it more of that thicker look. Once you're done, just go ahead and remove any of the rope, extra rope, and then just double knot it at the end of the thumbtack, as you can see I'm doing here. And you can add some glue right there if you don't feel comfortable with just tying those knots. So once you're completely done, go ahead and grab the mirror, which is the design that you drew in the center. And for my case, I'm using one of the square mirrors, and I did add some E6000 and some hot glue to the center in order to attach my mirror. And I was very generous with it because this is a mirror and I wanted to make sure that it stayed in place. So just go ahead and glue that to the center. Then set it aside for it to dry. While that's drying, go ahead and get some popsicle sticks. I would recommend maybe the larger popsicle sticks from Walmart, or what I'm using are painter sticks that I just basically had already cut off the handle part of it. So what I'm doing is just measuring out the 30 inches, and I'm going to make two attachments or two long sticks of 30 inches and then two of 20 inches, and that's going to be my frame. So what I did was just grab 3 of the popsicle sticks, basically, of my painter sticks, and then I just cut the third painter stick to make that 30 inches total. And all I did was use some really good heavy duty scissors and just cut that piece off to make it 30 inches once I attached all 3 or 2.5 of them together. So this is the way I attached them. Basically, I just lined them up, and then I got some of the smaller popsicle sticks and added some hot glue and then just attached my painter sticks together that way. This is going to be the back side of my frame, so I just went ahead and attached it this way. And I did it because I didn't want any of the glue to seep through towards the front, and this way I didn't have to add any glue to my painter sticks because they're being attached by the popsicle sticks, if that makes sense. So hopefully you guys can see what I'm doing. So just go ahead and add your popsicle sticks to attach all your painter sticks together to make one long cohesive piece of wood. And then you're going to do that to your 30 inches, and then you're going to do the 20 inches next. And you're going to use 2 of the popsicle sticks, the painter sticks for your 20 inches. And again, you're going to do the same thing. Just go ahead and measure them out. Make sure you have the 20 inches, and then you're going to attach them using a popsicle stick. If you guys have any other different ways of making larger frames from Dollar Tree items or even thrift store items, let us all know in the comments down below. I know we're all interested in finding different ways and different techniques and ideas of how to make larger items out of supplies from Dollar Tree or even thrift stores. So if you guys have any ideas or any other items or supplies that you use to make larger frames, let us know in the comments below. So once I was done actually making all my frame pieces, what I did was just get some of this paint from Waverly chalk paint, which is the color truffle, and I just painted it, brushed it on one coat of each one of my sticks, and then I just grabbed a wet napkin and wiped some of it off. Now I wanted it to be a little bit more darker than I typically wipe off. Usually I wipe off more and make it a lighter stain color, but I did want this one to have just a little bit more of a darker color. So basically I did the same thing, just painted it on to my sticks and then just wiped it off. I just didn't wipe off as much as I typically do, but that, again, that's just all to taste. You can't even leave them the color, the natural wood color that the painter sticks come in. So once I was done doing all 4 pieces and I allowed them to dry, which doesn't take much time at all, what I did was easily just grab some of my hot glue and ran it down the bottom part of my picture. And then I just stuck my sticks to the poster board to make my frame. So I did both top and bottom first. And if you don't feel comfortable, like I always say, go ahead and use your E6000 or even some Fix-All glue if you want to make sure this stays in place. But since it is a poster board, the hot glue gun, I'm comfortable with just using that and having my frame stay in place and not fall off or anything like that. So that's what I use. So I just went ahead and did the front, the top and bottom first. And I did it this way, that way if for any reason my sides didn't fit, I could cut those off easier than I could the top and bottom since they're longer. So what I did was just go ahead and again add some glue at the edge of my poster board, making sure both of the ends of this my piece of wood attach and are centered to the top and bottom to make that frame. And I did that to both sides. And there you have a huge 20 by 30 poster board wall decor that doesn't look like a poster board once you're completely done and add your frame. So the way I'm attaching this to a wall or having putting something on the back to attach or hang it to my wall, instead of using rope, I just used some paper clips and I glued them onto the back. So once I hung that up and was done, I went ahead and got 3 of these placemats. Now these are usually in Dollar Tree during the summer. I've even seen them during Christmas time and holidays too. So hopefully they always will have them in stock now. But go ahead and just grab one of these placemats, and then we're going to unravel it to a certain size, which what I unraveled it was basically 7 of the rows, so in total 14 to make a smaller placemat. And then just go ahead and leave that rope that you unraveled to the side, and we're going to make 2 of them the same size and leave one of them the actual size that it comes in. So once you're done making those 2 14 rings, I guess you could say it would be easier for me to explain it, and width, just go ahead and get the rest of the rope that you have, and then you're going to unravel or remove that thread that comes with it. Basically, that's how it was sewn together. Just remove that, and then you're going to glue both of the smaller placemats to your larger placemat. Now you're going to get the ribbon or the rope that you unraveled, and you're going to start gluing it around all 3 of your placemats that you have already glued together. So just go ahead and grab it and just glue it. And as you can see, I'm just using my hot glue gun for this. But since I am going to just have it in the center of my table and basically not touch it, I felt comfortable using it this way. But I would recommend, because I have made some of these and I have used them as table runners, but in more places that more people use, and where I have my fruit bowls on and stuff like that. And for those, I do use super glue or my E6000 and just use it randomly in different areas to make sure that it does stay in place. So if you're going to use this, say as a table runner like I am, or even as a rug, I would highly recommend you use more of a permanent glue, like I said, E6000, or even super glue would work for this. Just randomly place it throughout while you're adding your hot glue as well. So as you can see, I'm just kind of going around all 3 of them. Once you've done 1 row, go ahead and start your 2nd row right on the top of your 1st row. If that makes sense, just go ahead and add a line. And I did use my hot glue gun on medium heat or low heat because since I'm using my fingers. But if you want to do this with a hot glue gun that doesn't have a temperature control, just go ahead and use a popsicle stick, or something that you can press onto your placemat while you're gluing it, so you won't burn your fingers. So just go ahead and keep doing this until you're done with all your rope. You just keep wrapping it around all 3 of your placemats together. And I was just removing some of the thread that I hadn't taken off or removed correctly off of my string that I'm gluing around my placemats. So just go ahead and continue doing this. I just love these placemats. I've done quite a few different projects with them, and I know I'm going to do quite a few more. I wish they had more of the neutral whites and browns. Hopefully one day they will. One time I did find a white one, but that was just once. I don't know if they always have them in different colors, but again, I wish they would have more of the neutral colors, because there would be so many more other projects that I could use them for. But these bright colors are really pretty for spring, during your summertime. Even purchase some right now and save them for the holidays if you're going to do Christmas turquoise, like a peacock theme or something like that. It would be really wise for you to purchase them now and just save them for the holidays. I do that a lot. I always think about what I can use for a different holiday or for a different time, a different season. And if I know I can use a certain item, I typically buy it when it's in stock and when it's at the stores, and just kind of store it away and bring it out when I know I'm going to use it. So do you guys do that too? I don't know if I'm the only one. I'm sure I'm not. I'm sure quite a few of you do that. But what items do you typically try to stock up on? Like I said, these placemats I do use for quite a few projects, so I tend to stock up on these placemats, and also on my plungers. I do use a lot of plungers as well, so I typically try to stock up on those, even though Dollar Tree always carries plungers, but sometimes when I want them or need them, there's not enough at the store. So I typically try to save a few of them around the house, just to make sure that I have as many as I need when I do decide to make a project. So once I was done wrapping all that turquoise ribbon around, I set that aside and just allowed it to dry. Hot glue does dry pretty quick, especially on your medium or low heat. But I just set it aside so I can go ahead and make some jute twine rings, or smaller placemats, if that makes sense. What I did was just get a piece of cardboard and just, or even a piece of paper if you want, just so you can wrap your jute twine around to make a smaller circle or placemat, if that works better. So just go ahead and continue wrapping your jute twine around. And I just kind of added some hot glue every so often, wrapping it around to make sure that it stayed nice and secure. And I add a piece of paper or a cardboard to the back for a few reasons. One, because since the jute twine is so small, you'll burn your fingers quite a bit if you try to do it without anything in the back. And also it just makes it a lot easier and faster for me to glue and make these little smaller placemats when you have something to attach it to. So once you're done wrapping your jute twine around in circles, and you're going to need 4 of these for the way I'm doing the design that I'm going to do today. But if you want to make a different design, you can make more or even less of these if you like. But what I did was make 4 of them. Once I was done making 4 of them and I trimmed off any of the extra piece of cardboard that you could see, I'm going to attach them to the openings in between my placemats and the ring that I wrapped around all my placemats, if that makes sense. So just go ahead and attach them to your opening. And I did it with some hot glue. And you're going to do that to all 4 of them. And this is the way it's going to look once it's done. So just go ahead and add the rest of your rings to it. And I had thought about using some nautical rope, but the nautical rope was way too thick, so I couldn't really do it for it to look leveled. Since the jute twine's a lot thinner and smaller, it basically looked leveled once I was all complete. So that's why I decided to use my jute twine. But yes, you can use nautical rope if you like to make it more stand out, or even if you're going to use this as a rug, even the nautical rope would look fine on it if you like that style. So what I'm doing now is basically getting the same jute twine that I used and wrapping it around in a figure 8 to basically kind of make it look like I attached both of the smaller jute twine placemats together. And you can make any design. You can make an X in the center, just wrapping one of the jute twines from corner to corner instead of top to bottom. You could do it in an angle. You can make it into a shape of a square, just wrapping all 4 of the jute twines together. The smaller placemats together. So, this is where you can get more creative and make any different kind of design you like with the jute twine. Basically just attaching it to all 4 of them in different ways. So once you're done wrapping it around as many times as you like to make that figure 8, I basically wrapped it around 4 to 5 times between each one of them. But again, you can wrap them up as many times as you like to make that figure 8. Just adding your glue around each one of the smaller placemats, and then just kind of wrap your jute twine around to make that 8. And I think this is such a fun table runner for outdoors, your patio, even indoors for spring. I'm going to use mine inside my kitchen table, like a kitchenette table that I have. So I typically like to use more brighter colors in that area. So that's where I'm going to place mine at. So once you're done making your figure 8s, as many as you like I said, or any design that you decide to do, what I decided to do was just wrap my jute twine around the larger placemat or the outer side of my placemat. And I wrapped it around the entire table runner twice. And I did it twice in order for it to be a little bit thicker so it could be no more noticeable. But you can just do it once if you like. So you can do all kinds of designs, wrap your jute twine around this table runner so many different ways. That's why I'm saying there's so many different ways and designs that you can do with this table runner or any table runner that you make with these placemats. But I love making rugs with them. I've even used them outdoors for patio rugs, and they work great and they stay all summer. I live in Florida, so the heat here is crazy. And as long as you use E6000 for those runners or those rugs outdoors, they work fine and they stay just perfectly fine all summer long. They do fade a little bit, but other than that, they can stay out there all summer and they'll be perfectly fine. So here I am, I went ahead and decided, like I said, to wrap it around twice just to make it more thicker and more noticeable. So once you're done wrapping everything around and you're happy with your design, go ahead and get a lighter and just burn off any of the pieces of jute twine. Just be careful not to keep that fire on there too long because the placemats will burn, but just go ahead and remove anything of it that you don't need there. And this is the way your wall hanging looks once it's all completely done. And this is the way your table runner looks. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and if you did, don't forget to give me a big thumbs up and share with friends and family. Until next time, you guys stay safe and stay blessed. Bye.